Hey guys, so I made a post on my Instagram a few weeks ago about like a relationship post because I was gonna say that I was gonna do like a video based on relationships and like how to find, well, not find, but what kind of relationship advice people need, and a bunch of people post questions. So I'm just gonna answer the questions that people usually posted. And just not like boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, but parental relationships, friendships, any kind of relationships that you have, in your life. So the first question that I had was, what are some unique date ideas? Well, the generic, dates, movies, dinner, mini golf, going out to, the beach. I think like some unique date ideas are obviously those when I had a boyfriend in high school and we didn't have like a lot of money. So we just went out for walks and we walked everywhere. We walked around the local pond. We went out to pizza. We went to Dunkin' Donuts. And we just really spent time with each other. And, today him and I are like best friends. And I don't think it's necessarily like where you are for a date. I think what really matters is the relationship and friendship that you have with that person. I've had some of my greatest times with him just sitting on a park bench and just talking with him and hanging out with him and having one-on-one time with him. And then another, unique date idea is the boyfriend that I had about 6 months ago. We used to buy food from Market Basket or Stop and Shop, and we would bake it or make it at his house. And, we cooked together and then we eat together, and he, got plates out and a candle out, and he made it really cute and wonderful. And that was like the important thing, because it's like, why spend so much money to, go out to dinner and, sit at a restaurant, a noisy restaurant. Well, that's also okay too, but it really was one of like the best dates that we ever had, just making dinner at his house and spending time together. And then we watched a movie at his house, or we watched a TV show, or, we went out to get ice cream, and it's just really fun. I don't really think it's like the date itself. I think what matters is whether you can be with the same person when you're in a park bench versus a 5-star restaurant. The next question was, why do people always assume that girls and guys can't be friends unless they're dating? I think the reason why is because that's what our society has become. If you hang out with that guy, oh, you must like him. Or if you hang out with that girl, oh, you must like her. And it's really hard because we have this constant pressure in society, and we just have like this constant idea in our heads that we have to get in a relationship like that. We have our whole life planned out. So when we have, if you're a guy and you have a girl that's a friend, if a girl has a guy friend, there's just all this pressure that you have to be in a relationship with somebody, and you don't have to. You can be perfectly happy without anybody. And like, I think that's why people just assume that, if you're with a guy and you're a girl, then you guys must like each other and you're obviously dating. But honestly, who cares what people think? Like, go against the norm. Hang out with that guy, hang out with that girl, and who knows, maybe that friendship will turn into a relationship. The whole root of a relationship is to have like a relationship with your best friend, and I think that's like one of the best things in a relationship and one of the key things with a relationship. Another question I had was, why do guys just stink and are just stupid and don't really meet up to our expectations? And I think it's because we see relationships in Hollywood. We see our friends in relationships. We see my friends with relationships, and we're like, why aren't guys like that with us? Like, where are those guys in this world? And I honestly think it's because, you know, girls scientifically, you know, mature faster than guys. That's just a scientific fact. And I think these days we're so afraid of rejection. You know, we're so afraid to ask them out or talk to them or, you know, get to know them more. And I think that's why, you know, guys stink a lot, because we're not, as females or males, we're not like open to any kind of rejection. And, you know, we hide our feelings. And then, you know, when we give those feelings to somebody, you know, I've had guys that I've talked to before that, you know, were great and they were great for a while, and then they turned around and was like, oh yeah, I'm not really interested in you. It's just like, but if you think about it, you know, every guy or girl that, you know, you went after and you didn't get what you wanted back, it's just a stepping stone to that actual person that you will be with for, you know, if you desire to be in a relationship and if you desire to, you know, get married and have kids and have a family. I know I have the desire in my heart. I know many people have that desire. And I think that's why, you know, I'm not saying that we should just like go out and just like put ourselves out there, but maybe, you know, be open to friendships with guys, you know, and just not put ourselves out there, but, you know, get out there, and who knows, maybe to the next guy that you ask out, when you're so afraid to ask them out, maybe they'll say yes. You never know. My next question was, why is finding a date so hard? And basically, I think it's because you're looking for it. And if you don't look for it, if you're just yourself, you know, going through your daily routine, and, you know, you're your bubbly self and you're happy and you're doing what you love with your life, then the relationship will happen. You know, like, we're always looking for, I went through a period in my life where, like, from last year in October to now, you know, I was like constantly looking for the next guy. Like, oh, is that him? Oh, is that him? But it's taken me a while to just like enjoy the time that I have and just like not be constantly looking for it, because I know it's gonna happen. I'm only 21 years old, and the guys that I did date and have talked to were just stepping stones, and through those experiences I now know what I'm looking for. And you just don't continue to look for it, because if you keep looking for it, it's just, if you're like a completely desperate, like looking around for that guy, like, ooh, he's cute, is he the one? Or, ooh, that girl is really pretty, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna date her. But you just really can't be looking for it, and it's also just not your time, you know? Like, you go through this life, and I was sitting with my friend in my local Starbucks, and I was talking to this guy, and him and I just didn't work out. And then my friend was like, what are you gonna do now? And I looked at her and I was like, girl, I'm sitting here in my Starbucks doing my homework, eating chocolate, and I'm doing it. And that's what my life is right now. And you just have to be happy with the season that you are in, and you have to be happy with, if you're single, if you're dating, if you're married, if, you know, you're going through a breakup, any kinds of seasons that you're in your life. Because if you're so like anticipating for the next season of your life, you're not going to enjoy the season that you are in now. Like, take actual seasons, you know. In winter, you know, I don't like snow that much, and I want summer and I want spring. And then I'm in summer and I'm hot and my AC isn't working and I want winter. And, you know, I miss out on, you know, the time with Christmas and New Year's, and you know, being cold and making the snowmen and enjoying the winter, or with summer, you know, going swimming, the late nights, you know, going to the beach, you know, doing things in the season that, you know, I'm in as I'm going through life. You know, I love fall and spring because it's right in the middle, but, you know, in spring it starts getting warmer, and then it gets hotter, and then in fall it gets colder, and then it's winter. But you just can't continue to look for it. You can't be completely desperate for a date. You know, you just have to enjoy where you are in life right now, and it will happen. You know, if it's in your heart to meet someone and to marry someone and to be with someone, then it's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen eventually. You know, if you've never dated before, that is completely fine. You know, I loved my boyfriends when I dated them, and that was a really nice time in my life. But, you know, now that I'm single, I'm open to just being with myself and hanging out with my girlfriends, and, you know, talking to not talking to multiple guys, but like, you know, thinking that guy's cute, and not really have like any obligation to either of them. But I'm not saying, you know, like talk to multiple guys, but, you know, you just can keep your options open. And I remember, you know, some days when I would be fighting with my boyfriends, you know, I look back on that, I'm just like, why did I fight so much? And, you know, why did I just like completely just want this? But then, I don't know, like, you just can't be always looking for it. And, you know, it is going to happen. And, you know, when you're married with a bunch of kids, you're gonna look back and you'll be like, why was I so anticipating this? I mean, it's wonderful to have kids and a family, but, you know, you're gonna be like, oh dang, I wish I had a few more single days with the girls, going out and hanging out with them and doing stupid girl stuff that, you know, girls do, or guys. The next question I had was, how do you know when someone is the one? And I think, you know, like I said, I have dated before, and I talked about the future with both of my boyfriends that I've had. I've had 2 serious boyfriends, and I also dated other guys too. But I think one really big thing is that if you guys are fighting, slamming doors, swearing at each other, you know, hanging up on each other, like having like really, really bad fights on this side of your relationship, think about how it is going to be when you have a mortgage to pay, when you have a house to pay for, when you have a car to pay for, when you have little kids running around. I'm not saying, you know, no relationship is perfect. You know, if you get in a fight, you get in a fight, and then you apologize and you make up for it, and then you just work on it with your significant other. But no relationship is perfect. You know, I've gotten into many fights with my boyfriends before, and it stinks, but, you know, thank God I'm not in that anymore, because we just weren't meant to be. And I also think that if they disrespect you, if you set up boundaries and they break those boundaries, if they talk bad about you, if they try to change you, if they're manipulative of you, if they don't treat you the way that you want to be treated, then he's not the one. And it's gonna be okay, because if you have to make that decision, you know, I was in a relationship for like a year and a half with this guy, and I loved him so much. He loved me, and, you know, we were, you know, really seriously talking about the future. And you know, he told me that he was gonna marry me multiple times, and it was great. But he wasn't the one, because looking back, I am so glad that I'm not with him anymore, because he just wasn't the one. He, you know, disrespected me. He broke my boundaries. He wasn't the one, and it's completely okay right now. You know, if you knew me before when I was in a relationship with him versus me now, you can see that I'm a lot more happier. I really fell away from God and my relationship with him, and now I am completely just in love with him and just know how much God really does love me, because like I said, I loved him with all of my heart, and I wanted to marry him and I want to have a family with him, but that's not God's plan. And if you're with somebody and they turn out to not be the one, it is okay. I know that this leads into my next question, is how to get over someone. So if you're with somebody and, it doesn't work out and you guys break up, it's okay. Unfortunately, there's no magic pill to take to completely get over someone. My boyfriend and I broke up in October, and I'm still, going through the emotions. Like, I had my Taylor Swift phase where I cried, I tore pictures, I tore up sweatshirts, I had that moment. But you have that moment. Now you have that time because it's a relationship, we're humans, we have emotions, we have to go through things, and that's just the way we are. We are emotional beings. But, I had that time, and then I know, like, when you first break up with someone, it feels like there's like this huge hole in your heart and in your life. And, my boyfriend and I would call each other every night, and we would talk every night. He called me during the day, he texted me in the morning, and, obviously we had a relationship. And if you personally know me, you've seen, like, the way that I've changed into a better person for it. And, you just have this hole, and, you wish that you could talk to him again, you wish that you could be with him again, but you slowly fill the hole with things that are important to you. I hang out with my girls all the time. I've worked a lot more. I've gotten more involved with my studies. I've not really been in a relationship, but I was with my boyfriend in high school up until Thanksgiving of my freshman year of college here. And then we were on and off until I started dating my last boyfriend my sophomore year of college, and then I dated him all throughout that year until last October. I'm telling you guys, my grades around midterm time here have never been up to like B range. This semester they're up at B range right now, and they're only going up. And I don't think it's from, not being with somebody, but, I've had more time to dive into my studies and to do what's important to me. And, you just have to keep going, and you have to just go through acceptance and just accept that this person was not meant for me. I loved them. I loved spending time with them. I loved being with them. But there's a better person out there for me. And like I said, there is no magic pill that anyone can give you. There's no magic formula. You just have to pick yourself back up and go through that acceptance and just move on. And I think another thing that girls really go through is like, obviously, your boyfriend would tell you that you're beautiful, that, you're amazing, that he loves you, and you're like the prettiest girl in the world. Or, with girlfriend to a guy, she tells you that, you're handsome, you're amazing, you're the greatest guy in the world. But you have to know that you don't have that validation through anybody else. You have that validation through God, because God created you in his image, and what he creates is beautiful. And you have to know that you are beautiful, you are handsome, you have to find that validation within yourself. And, if you go through self-image issues and self-esteem issues, I think every girl goes through that at some point. But, you're beautiful because there is no other person that looks exactly like you. There is no other person that can do what you can do. There is no other person that has your talents as you, has your love as you. And that was what makes you beautiful and makes you individual. And you get that validation from God, and because God loves you, and if you believe in him or not, he still loves you. He has a plan for you, and he created you for a purpose. And you know, if you have that desire in your heart to marry someone, be with someone, he put that desire into your heart, so he will make it happen. But oh, and then one last question I had was, what can you do if you have a friend and they're jealous of you, but like you can't really like talk to them? And I think it's just because you have to just get involved with yourself and, you know, tell that person that, you know, what they're doing is wrong, and just talk to that person. And I think just get involved with yourself and not really block the person off, but slowly like wean off of them so they can like stop being jealous. But anyways, those are most of my questions on relationships. If you guys have more questions on like other kinds of relationships, like parental, or I don't have any siblings, so I can't really say like sibling relationships. If you want a video on how to have a godly relationship with him or with a significant other. But yeah, that is my take on relationships. I love you guys. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below. But if you want me to do like a college advice video, I'm in my 3rd year of college, so I can give it my best shot. Self-esteem issues, anything you guys want to see, let me know. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!